So today I wanted to talk about the 3 stages of life. The 3 stages of life, as I understand them, are exploring, empire building, and reflection. I was talking about this with an older guy, and he referred to them as learning, earning, and retirement. And we lined up pretty squarely. So, first stage is exploring, lasts about 30 years. 0 to 30. Some people explore for a little longer. Some people are done exploring a little earlier. It's not an exact timeline, but it's about 30 years. And the central question during the exploring stage is, who am I? That's the central question you're trying to answer. You're trying to answer, what activities fit me? What type of person fits me for a relationship? What type of friends fit me? What am I interested in? What am I not interested in? Where do I like to live? Am I a city person? Am I a rural town person? Am I a incomplete isolation person? What fits me? Who am I? Right? All of the aspects of who you are. That's what you're trying to figure out. Especially in your late teens and 20s. That's what you're trying to figure out. And when you answer that question and you realize, you know what, I've been on this construction crew for a while, I've learned a lot about building, and I think I'm a builder. I think that's actually who I am, is a builder. Then you transition to the next stage, which is empire building, and you see how far you can take what you are. So in stage 2, empire building, lasts about another 30 years, 30 to 60 usually. You want to see how far you can take what you now know you are. So now that you know you're a builder, you want to see how far you can take that. If you figure out you're a writer in your exploring stage, I'm always writing in notebooks. I have a ton of documents on my computer of just stories I'm writing. Then you realize, you know what? This isn't just a phase. I'm a writer, and I want to see how far I can take this. 30 to 60 is when you're going to write your best books. Similarly, if you're an actor, musician, if you're anything, even working in the service industry. I am a really hospitable person. I like interacting with people. I'm social, and I realize that that's just a really good fit for me as a career. 30 to 60. Okay, how far can I take that? Can I open my own restaurant? Maybe I can manage a restaurant. Maybe I can just spread joy daily, right? So you want to see how far you can take what you have learned you are. And then you get towards 60 and you have a 30-year track record behind you of all these things you've built. That's why I call it empire building, because you have built who you are into something real in the real world. It exists, it's been manifested. Me as a builder is manifested in these amazing buildings I built. Me as a writer is manifested in these books that were published. Me as an artist, all these paintings. Whatever it is you are, it's manifested in the real world during your empire building stage, and then it's time to reflect. And in the reflection stage, the central question is, how do I feel about my life? That's what you're trying to answer then. How do I feel about my life? How do I feel about how I was as a partner, how I was as a parent, how I was in my career, how I was towards myself? How do I feel about different decisions I made? How do I feel about regrets I might have? Everything, right? You're reflecting back on your life, and some of the greatest wisdom and advice comes from people in this stage of life. They've finished their empire building, they've reflected, and they've come to some really, really wise realizations. Problems occur when we avoid a transition or skip a transition or skip a stage. When we avoid a transition, for example, where a lot of people my age are at, I'm 29, and I'm transitioning into the empire building stage. A lot of people call it settling down. And problems can occur if you fight that transition. And people my age are split, with people settling down or starting to take something seriously, is what I would call it. They're starting to take a career seriously, a family seriously, a project seriously. and people that just aren't done exploring. And only they know if they need more time to figure out who they are, or if they're avoiding the transition to empire building because it's a lot of work. And only they know. It's not for me to say. Definitely not. If they need till 35, it's totally possible. But it's important to make the transition into taking something seriously. And on a practical level, that's the only way you're going to pay for your reflection stage. That's the only way you'll have royalties from the books you wrote, or rental income from the houses you built, or a bunch of paintings that you've sold that pay for your retirement. That's the only way that you get to have the reflection stage. Otherwise, you might end up working during that stage, which would be rough. So the empire building stage of hard work is crucial. A lot of people have a tough time transitioning out of the empire building stage into the reflection stage. I notice this especially in really hard-working dads, right? Guys that have worked really hard and they've built their empire and they don't want to stop. How could they stop? They're just starting to see the results of all their efforts. It's finally starting to compound. How could I give up now? Well, it's important to give up. It's important to make the transition voluntarily rather than be forced to make the transition, because in your 60s, you're just not physically as durable as you were in your 40s. And making that transition voluntarily rather than, now you were injured because you refused to transition out of empire building into reflection, that can be a really hard, forced transition. So managing the transitions is especially important, but skipping a stage can be equally problematic. If you see this in a lot of young, ambitious people, I'm going to skip the exploring stage and I'm going to go straight to empire building. I'm just going to build my empire right off the bat. I don't need to know who I am. This is the person that turns 40 or 45 and has a midlife crisis because they've just been going to the office every day and working for a boss. And do I even care about this company? I don't even care about what we sell. I don't even know what I care about. I never managed to find out. I never went looking for it. I never explored. Who am I? Quit your job, sell your stuff, move to Bangladesh and work in an orphanage, right? So skipping a stage can be a problem. Some people want to skip the empire building stage like we talked about and go straight to reflecting. And you can't skip the hard work stage, because exploring and now I'm ready to reflect, you don't have the wisdom of the hard work to reflect on. And you also, from a practical standpoint, how are you going to afford to reflect? So skipping a stage or failing to transition can be very problematic, I think. And I see this in different people in different ways. But I think if you can manage these transitions smoothly, it can be very, very balancing to your life, and you can achieve great satisfaction and fulfillment. And I want to say again that it's not my business how long it takes someone on a stage at all. Only you would know if you're avoiding a transition out of fear, or if you need more time to answer the essential question of your chapter of life, of that stage. So thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.